Clearly, program promotion is something NCAA coaches need to know a lot about, and Andrea Williams happens to do it particularly well. We had the opportunity to speak to her about it. Let's listen in.
To promote your program, yourself, and what you're doing, I think that is one of the things that we need to cultivate more and do more in our profession, let alone for women's basketball. Some of the things I've done at Air Force, let's just be real. You're not always going to be given the great successful job. You're going to have rebuilding jobs, and that's more times than not why there was a coaching change in my case or in other cases where we need a program to go in a different direction or some things. So that's one thing that you could tackle before you have wins and losses. I mean, that's the key to me. I think the promotion piece starts besides just the press conference, what you want to dictate in that message. Some of the things we've done at Air Force is you have to use the social media. So the first part is Facebook. You got to be able to link to a Facebook page with your main athletic site, but then promote what you want the message to be said. We do a lot of things. We're trying to get as many followers in that challenge and put a date up there. We do a lot of things with our whole marketing plan that we'll put on there, and they'll know what's coming up for this game. We play Wyoming, so we're doing country line dancing. And that may be why Coach Williams is wearing cowboy boots while she's coaching. You know, like, hello, you got to help each other. So those are some of the things. And then we use it a lot to follow on Twitter. And that helps in the recruiting aspect too, in promoting yourself with your recruits, where they know if I'm either just basketball driven, all I've watched is men's games right now or the finals, or if they know I'm at a coach's academy trying to get better, if I like certain TV shows or programs or what I'm about a little bit. So it's another way to outreach your recruits and they get a sense of the program. There's a reason you have followers, so they can follow what you're telling them, follow what you're doing. So you have to utilize that. I think that's a huge aspect, again, before you've even stepped onto the court and changed that perception. I think one of the other things that we did consciously is you're going to copy from all the good stuff, from all the good people. Cal University did a great job, and I'm telling you, they changed how media guides looked for us. They bring in, and they did, and she took it to Virginia, Joanne Boyle, with making it be glamorous, makeup, the whole 9 yards, whatever your theme is. And being different, kind of like a Nike ad or a sports ad or whatever, and that genre, and it's the student athlete you're dealing with. It's a visual society. So how at the Service Academy can I change our perception of just women in military uniforms? And that was my kind of gist of why we're going to do that. So I went to our meeting with our assistant coaches, said here's what we're going to do. We're going to pattern it like Cal and some other programs. We're going to change what it looks like. Within the military parameters, and you had some old school military, like we just have a media guide, it's a media guide. Media needs this information. No, it's a recruiting tool. It's what I can send out legally, NCAA wise. I can change what we want to do and what we want to look like and send my message. So the ones that could be in civilian attire, you walked in my locker room and I tweeted the pictures. There were stilettos, there was this kind of skirt, that heel, those pants, and everybody had their own personality. And makeup galore, everybody's makeup on the counter within regulation. And so we spent the 3 hours we had together with my student athletes showing those pictures and doing those things and going to the photo shoot. We had a photo shoot down on the floor in your athletic gear. We had a photo shoot up in a hidden area that was your 3 personal pictures in your civilian attire, so you could be with a teammate. It was great team bonding, so you're killing that stone as you're trying to learn a new team. You're setting that tone that something different's about to happen in a good way, and this is where you get recruits thinking, okay, then why are they in civilian attire? Why aren't they in their military gear? If the freshmen have to be in their military gear to honor what the rules are, then they are. They're in their fatigues or they're in their jumpsuit, so they could own which one they wanted to do. And so you're working with people. And then another issue we had, it wasn't even an issue, it was just concern where a photographer is not used to doing a photo shoot like that or an action photo shoot was like, I don't want to screw this up. I'm like, calm down. We're going to play some music. We're going to lower the baskets. We're just going to look like we're dunking or dunk, and we'll take it's a digital camera. Delete it if it looks bad, and we'll keep going. If it's all right with you. And he's like, I get all afternoon. You're on my schedule. I'm like, thank you. So one of those things, putting other people at ease of what you're doing. So, and it's funny, year 2, photographers volunteered for that duty, and we got over 700 pictures sent to us to pick through and use for recruiting and use for our mail out. So it was a huge team bonding event. It was huge to change our program and the perception of what we wanted to be, and you debunked the myth a little bit of the military, but addressed it. So it's a great tool that a lot of people need to use and step up. Did we need professional photographers? No. Do girls know how to put on makeup and make others look good? Yeah, so you took care of those cost concerns that people had. And you just use your regular school photographers. Let's have some fun. Let's try it. Let's use this way. So it was good. And so now we're known for that. So that's one of the things you need to change in promoting and what you're trying to do. So that was huge for our team. Another concept that one of my peer mentors mentioned to me, and he put it in a great perspective that made sense. You're inviting me to Mountain West Conference Media Day. Some coaches dread it. Can we get it done in one day? Why do we have to go? Blah, blah, blah. Can I do it from our campus cam at, different schools? And I'm going, you're inviting me to come to your place, talk only about me and my team and how great we are and what we're doing. You're going to feed me on top of it all day. I get to tell the Wyoming news why I think we're so great and not the Cowgirls or something. I get to tell San Diego State's reporter, oh, that's what I think about my program and my Falcons. And you got to change that attitude and that mindset. I think it's one part where you promote yourself and promote your program. Again, the key, before you've had a win or a loss. So you're really getting out there what you want to project, what you want to talk about, changing perceptions. And like I said, the Mountain, you're in a different, we were a great facility, and we're in the Mountain West Studios and the Mountain Channel, so we had TV access. So you're doing the promotions, you're doing a one-on-one campus cam, you're doing a breakdown, so you have different things that you are shuffling to. I'm one of the first years that I took our SID, I'm like, I'm going to a media day, you're coming with me. She's like, okay. You got to bring them along. Like, this is how we're treating it. We are definitely in the room. It's our profession. We may not be BCS level, but you're with me, okay? So you got to deal with this media stuff too. So it's like, okay, and it's her and I sitting there, and here comes Colorado State's newspaper. Well, I'm going to tell you what I want to tell you. And Ram Nation, be wary of what we're doing, and the Falcons. So I think when you put it in perspective, just like interviews, you've brought me here to talk about myself. Okay, we can do that. I can promote my team and what I want you to hear. So I think people sometimes lose sight of that, but they need to embrace that and get that back and get that ownership. And I know what I can do, and I can persuade, or I can let you understand the message I'm sending today. And so that was a huge way to promote the program, promote myself, and what this new coach is about. The other things, you got to get everybody involved. When your cleaning crew is asking you for tickets, when they come back from vacation and have gifts for you, you're making a difference. So you're trying to do some things and change that perception. And I think one of the biggest compliments of what we were trying to do in program promotion, and winning helps, is when your male practice squad is the first ones onto your floor over a wall that we're playing in an arena, and the Yellow Jackets let them go, which is our security people, because they want to join in our song at the end, our alma mater, and then they're the first ones in the locker room. I can't even get to the locker room dealing with media and just the excitement, and they're the first ones in the locker room. It probably broke some gender rules with the military, but then you had generals in there too going, hey, we just beat San Diego State. We haven't won a conference game in 2 years. So when you start doing that, those are things that help promote, but I mean, they start believing in what you're doing and your message. So I think people need to do that more with, hey, why not the Falcons? Why not us? This is what we do. So those were some of the key things. Anytime you speak, you have that opportunity. We do those little things that promote your program, again, with the bracelets and things, lapel pins. I know that I've seen football coaches at different schools say, you always wear your lapel pin. I'm like, yes, I'm representing the school and where I'm at and where I'm going, or a convention. So just the little things too, but you got to believe in what you're doing and enjoy it. But again, you can tailor it to help you, definitely. And I think one of the last things that people, and I was able to do, is in our Mountain West meetings, we do it differently, where we'll have spring meetings with basketball, footballs, and a lot of conferences do it that way. nuts and bolts issues. So you meet at for us, it was a different place, a resort for a couple of days. Now, new kid on the block, they always have you do conference captain or all these duties that other coaches don't want to do. I think the huge thing for me was, okay, you're going to chair the committee. Okay, what does that mean? How can I empower myself and use this to promote myself? I'm having the opportunity to meet with the coaches, talk about our basketball issues, scheduling, this, that, the other, RPI. Then the way we do is we bring our ADs in. So I'm sitting with my AD with all the other schools in the room and their ADs. And you're basically having another interview. You're basically letting them know your point of view, your vision for the women's basketball coaches, what we're here for, being able to reiterate that meeting that we had to them, our issues. And it was just neat in that venue that when you start turning it back on them, like, I'm presenting to you our case. I speak for all of us head coaches who had massively more experience in the room or success in the room, but here's what we've discussed. This is what I'm presenting to you. And you have that platform. So I think that's huge when you turn it around and empower it that way instead of being shied away. And there's a reason why y'all had to take speech class, as they say, and do those things. But I like that when you start thinking of it a different way. This is an opportunity for me. Okay, now you've heard me speak and you've heard me articulate what I wanted to say, and I'm not the hooting and hollering, let's press, get up and down the floor coach that you see on the sidelines at your arena. Now you see me in the business setting. So that's some of the things I think people need to take away and learn from. And that's one of the things I've been fortunate enough to do in my tenure. And I think one of the last components that you can do is changing the mantra, having that team theme, media guide, whatever you're doing, whatever you want to promote your team with in that promotion out there is, I believe in t-shirts. Kids like gear, fans like gear and t-shirts. So one of the things that we wanted to do, and this was one of the active things I had my assistant coaches do, is think of slogans for t-shirts while they're out recruiting in July. There's dead period between games and things. You got to come up with some good ones. Let's hash it out and just get a vision and a plan. So one of the first ones was we needed to change our t-shirt logos, meaning Air Force. Everything that we inherited had AF. Well, to the East Coast, that's Abercrombie and Fitch. That does us no good. So we changed and we needed Air Force written so you knew who was in the building, who was there, who was recruiting your daughter. And that was deliberate. And then on the back, I'll have a saying and usually 2 t-shirts per year. So this one struck me with Memorial Day, Labor Day, what we do, who we are, what our mission is, who can play for us, who can graduate from us. And it's more than just basketball at our service academy. So at Air Force, it's one of those where you're all going to be competing, and those games, Army, Navy, are huge rivalries for us. But then in the end, when it's all said and done, we're all going to be under the same blanket. And I think that was huge for one of the inspirational meanings, and our kids love wearing these shirts when they can out of season on those specific days and what our message is. And then we will always have this staple shirt. No one can take this statement away. This was one of the first ones I came up with, and you know when your assistant coach goes, oh, okay, I get it. You know it's a compliment when football coaches walk by and go, Coach, I like that. I took over a team that was in the 300s RPI, hadn't won a conference game in over 2 years. 3 years hadn't won a road game. I had this senior on my team who has never won in her blue uniform on the road. I can't even fathom. I had a program that winning to them when you asked them was, we just want to win double-digit games, Coach. Like, I couldn't relate. Like, seriously? Okay. So that was winning to them. That was success. That's where we were coming from. So how are you going to promote that and where your vision is and everybody on board? Yeah, we're really going to win and those things. And because winning is important to the administration. Is it the end all where I'm at? No. But they do like to win. Your kids like to win. So I think this t-shirt sums it up 2 ways. We had a guest speaker who came back to speak at Hundreds Night for us, and that's when the seniors get their assignment and they're excited about where they're going to be stationed. And my practice players, the guys who were fired up my first year and still return, they all wanted to be pilots, so they're in pilot school, pilot slots and training. So the person who came back to speak to the whole senior class academy 2 years ago, his detail is Air Force One. That was his job assignment. Just last week, my assistant texted me, can I give out one of our shirts? I'm like, okay, to who? Because it's a little bit select because you like to have the ownership with your team. Well, Katie's AOC now is going to be stationed and her next duty assignment's Air Force One. I'm like, Yeah. So this is one of the ones we came up with, very basketball specific. Again, you have our logo on the front, so you know who we are. And then we absolutely love this logo and this saying. So definitely pertains to basketball. A lot of people have those kind of shoes, but only few get to fly Air Force One. So that was one of the things where you have other coaches saying, that's pretty cool. And just own it. That's who you are. That's what we are. That's what we graduate, officers of the Air Force. So I think you got to promote what you're about and what you're doing school-wise and what you graduate. I think that's the main key here. But self-promotion, don't limit your opportunities. Team promotion, get them on board from day one before you can even have a win or a loss.
Once again, we thank you for joining us for this episode of The Real Women of Coaching, part of the Women's Coaching Network. We'll see you again next week as we begin our conversation with Katie Card, women's water polo coach.